it says in the Torah, do not give any of your children to pass through the fire of the molech. What is the molech? The Midrash says that the molech was a statue of a calf, and it had long outstretched arm, it had a long arm with hands, and the priests would light a fire inside of it, and the hands would become glowing hot. And then people would sacrifice their sons to this statue. The priest would come to the parents and they say, the god of Molech will be mad at you if you don't sacrifice your son. If you don't sacrifice your son, he's going to kill all your children. And the parents got intimidated and they did it. Now, as the child is burning, they started to do their ceremony. They would beat drums, they would make a lot of noise, and you hear the baby crying. And the parents thought that they're actually doing something good. They made a sacrifice in one area for the better good of the family. The Torah prescribes a death penalty for anyone who did that. Today, the death penalty doesn't apply because we don't have a Sanhedrin to enforce it. So one may ask, what can we learn from this commandment not to give our children to the molech? Rav Yosef Chaim Sonnenfeld and others explain that this mitzvah is applied in another way today. Parents who send their children to secular schooling, even if it's a Jewish secular school, is as if he delivered his child to the molech. Like public schools, or even private schools that are not teaching Torah values, this is spiritually killing the child, and therefore the parents are responsible for that. Being exposed in a non-Torah environment, it affects the children. You might think, okay, I'll come home and I'll explain to them that, like ask them what they learned today, and I'll fix it up. You don't know what's going on day to day. The teachers in these schools, in the public schools, they are many of them have very bad lifestyles, and they mention these things to the innocent children in the schools. Some people sacrifice their children because the public school is a very high level of education, but because of that, they lose their child spiritually. Now, the bigger molech is the universities and the colleges that the parents send their children to. They pay $50,000 and they lose their child. As I quote someone who said, $50,000 and 4 years later, my daughter did not respect me anymore. A goy said this. And that's what they do. You're sitting there with all these professors that are like molech priests who are teaching ideas that are against the Torah, whether it's respecting your parents, whether it's having a nuclear family, alternative lifestyles, all of these things. You think you came in to learn about mathematics and other subjects? No, all of these other things are also added when you go to university. In addition, you have frat parties, you have all of this other nonsense that's part of the college experience. And that's what the child is being exposed to. And once they're in the hands of the molech professors, they are granted power over his mind. In addition, besides this, you have, really, college is a scam. Let's say that you want to be a businessman, okay? You want to get a degree in business. So go and work in a business and learn how to do it. Why do you need to, or you want to become, even if you want to become a doctor, they make you take all these classes that are not even related, history and then English and mathematics that you never use. And it's charging you money. All that money that you're spending all those years, you could have invested in a business. You could have opened up a practice. You could open up something. So that's one of the things. They drag it out on purpose in order to make more money. If they really wanted to, they could teach you everything that you need to know for your degree in 1 year or even less. Therefore, I say, as the rabbis mentioned, that university is like sending your children to molech and you're destroying them. Now, even without that, look what happened recently. Over 50 universities protested against the state of Israel, against the Gaza war. These are our enemies, professors, students who are sitting in the university. Why would you want to be part of that? Why would you donate money? Why would you pay tuition to help these evil universities who hate your guts anyway? Now, besides that, people think that if I don't go to university, I don't have something to fall back on. And these people fall back on their heads because they don't make any sense. They used to say, oh, you have to have a bachelor's, now you have to have a master's. If you don't have that, you're not going to get a job. Or if you didn't go to college, you're not educated, you're not cultured. Now, tell me, these barbarians in the university are cultured? These people who are anti-God, who don't believe in the Torah, none of them don't believe in God at all. These are people who are teaching you. Even an innocent class such as psychology, one of the things that they can teach you is that we developed our feelings. First there was only anger, and then afterwards sadness evolved. And these are the things that they throw in evolution and other nonsense, and this affects a person. The Chachamim say, if a person goes to a perfume shop, perfume factory, his friend has a big factory where they make cologne and perfume. He walks in, he doesn't touch anything, and he walks out. If you smell him, you're going to smell the fragrance. If you have a friend who has a tannery is a place where they take the hides of the cow, the leather, and they make clothing and other things from it. It stinks in there. If you walk in there, you don't touch anything, you don't lift a finger, they're going to stink. That's the same thing. Whatever environment you're in, you're going to be affected by it. Come with your kippah to university and go to do mincha in the courtyard with your friends. It doesn't matter. You're being exposed to negative influence. If you want a job, you can get a trade. You could become a mechanic, locksmith. You could be a graphic designer. You don't need to go to a university for your degree. Most of the jobs don't come from the university anyway. You could do them without the university, except for doctor and lawyer, generally speaking, and maybe a few other things. But even those is another story of why you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be a lawyer. Parnasa is decided on Rosh Hashanah. A person, that means that how much he's going to make that year is already decided. All you have to do is do your effort. In Hebrew, it's called hishtadlut. You do a hishtadlut, finished. What does hishtadlut mean? It means that you try your best. You don't drive yourself crazy, sleepless nights, popping caffeine pills to study for a test, all this nonsense that people do in universities. You go to work, normal hours, come back home, not stressed. That's what you need to do, and whatever money the Sukkot is going to give you. If you decide to take that other route and say, oh, because I went to university, I made more money, it's a bunch of baloney. Why? There are many people who have professional careers with master's degrees, and they ended up working in a field that's not even related to what they got a degree in. So it's not about